Trevor here, and today I illustrate for you from the SCP Foundation Vaults Item Number SCP-4340 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures. Due to the remote and benign nature of SCP-4340, minimal containment procedures are required. The team of researchers that are currently posted on Kauai are to be rotated with new personnel weekly. Researchers are also to receive monthly psychological examinations. As contact with civilian populations is generally seen to be unavoidable, a web crawler has been programmed to flag and remove any mentions of SCP-4340 related phenomena from public internet forums, as well as preventing news media stories related to the potential survival of Moho Baractus or Kauai-o'o from being published. Description: SCP-4340 is an auditory phenomenon described as the mating call of a male Kauai-o'o, a species of bird which is believed to have gone extinct in 1987. It occurs only on the island of Kauai in the Hawaiian island chain, only ever having been recorded in remote forested areas of the island, not being noted to occur within any regions populated by civilians. Numerous Foundation investigations have conclusively determined that SCP-4340 does not originate from living specimens of Kauai-o'o. The calls do not appear to originate from a single physical source at all. This has been corroborated by thermal imagery continuously failing to identify any heat-producing organisms in areas where SCP-4340 is originating from. Long-term exposure to SCP-4340 has been correlated with feelings of depression, anxiety, and generally lowered moods. Although initially believed to be a mimetic consequence of the anomaly, testing has demonstrated that this effect is non-anomalous. Addendum: one of the most extensive documentations of SCP-4340 comes from Edward Kaysen, an amateur ornithologist who lived alone in a remote forested area of Kauai from 1993 until his death in 1996. His body was discovered by Foundation operatives at the base of a tree a few hundred miles away from his self-built cabin, having suffered severe blunt trauma from a large fall. However, the original case of death was identified as starvation. A small net and a tape recorder were found in the tree above. After hearing SCP-4340 a few months into his stay, Kaysen spent much of his time trying to find a living Moho Baractus specimen. He kept a weekly audio log within his cabin. What follows is the final entry.
The song doesn't stop. Each day I awake to hear the sickly, sweet sounds pounding in my ears like a drum. With every passing tune, I wish more and more to turn my head to the window and see something real. Something tangible. And yet at the same time, I creep closer to the realization that the moment I wish for will never come. It's just a small green bird. How many small green birds are there around the world? There's probably many we haven't discovered. Yet, more than enough to compensate for the extinction of the Kauai-o'o. But it can't be replaced. I don't know if I even have any hope anymore. What am I seeking, if not something living? Through this research, I've come to realize something about people. One of our most naive aspects is that we view the Earth as something that is constantly changing. Or rather, we view it as something that is to be receptive to all the ways that we want to change it. But the reality of this planet is that sometimes it simply doesn't want to change. We can do whatever we wish, but it wants to cling on to the way that it was before, the way that it knows. But of course, the world can't stop us from stamping our changes on it, and there truly are so many human-shaped stamps around the world. Entire species and types of life, we've snapped our fingers, and they've gone into the void, without them ever truly realizing what is happening. And what can the world do in response? Natural disasters haven't stopped us. Every time they happen, we build right back up on the ruins, continue making changes, and continuing to stamp our stamps. So if violence doesn't work, what can the world do? It can try to hang on to whatever has the ability to linger, shallow imprints of things that the Earth isn't quite ready to let go of. The ghosts of our short-sightedness. And these ghosts will sing. They don't know anything else other than to just sing as they would in any other time, not knowing why they will never receive a song in return. An unanswered call that will last until the Earth is ready to snap its own fingers and let them go into the void.
That concludes the file for SCP-4340. I hope you've enjoyed this illustration and narration. You can visit the description below for all SCPs I've covered that relate to SCP-4340. If you have an SCP or a short story that you'd like to see narrated and illustrated, let me know in the comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.